I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte with the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial. In a public opinion survey commissioned by KBLA Talk 1580 and conducted by Viteris, the black voters surveyed were highly enthusiastic about the March 2024 primary. The race for Los Angeles District Attorney is being hotly contested. Incumbent DA George Gascon's efforts to implement progressive criminal justice reforms have generated pushback from within his own office, the broader law enforcement community, and some in the general public. He was the subject of at least 2 failed attempts to qualify recalls. The concerns about crime are reflected in the polling results of black voters. Nearly 1 in 4 have been victims of violent crime or have someone close to them who has been a victim. 1 in 5 black voters have personally been victims of property crime in the last 2 years. A majority of respondents feel less safe than they did a year or 2 ago, but they reject the notion that criminal justice reform has gone too far. This year, black voters will be looking for candidates who speak to the complexity of the issues as opposed to a one-size-fits-all approach. Nearly half of black voters have an unfavorable view of DA Gascon, but his challengers are largely unknown. Nearly half of the black voters are also undecided, which means there's a clear opportunity for candidates to connect with black voters. Our poll makes 3 things abundantly clear. Black voters matter. Black voters are closely following this race, and the candidates for DA have a lot of work to do. KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to the mobilization and use of the franchise to empower our audience to identify and pursue their interests in advancing equity, inclusive representation, and multiracial solidarity. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte. We welcome your feedback.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes 2 to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Gaslighting by what is not said. It's an idea that came to me in my own therapy session because I kept talking to my therapist, and this was probably about 5 years ago. I don't remember my parents ever calling me ugly, and I thought I was ugly. And I don't remember them ever calling me dumb, and I thought I was dumb. And I remembered getting good grades, like B's, good grades, but I don't remember being smart. So if I have spent my whole life, in my case, it was up to around age 40, thinking that I was not good looking, women would find me undesirable, and that my intelligence wasn't real. I just worked really hard, and no one put that on me. Well, how did I become gaslit? And it hit me. Boom. It's not what they said. It's not the narrative they tried to implant in me. It's what they didn't say.
What? That is Ross Rosenberg. That's who you just heard, the voice of Ross Rosenberg, a psychotherapist. Wow. Very interesting. You can be gaslit not by what is said, but by what is not said. He calls it invisible gaslighting. Oh, Lord. Man, I swear, these narcissists and these type of folk got superpowers in relation. Gaslighting by what isn't said. Very interesting. Listen, the voice of reason has returned to his post. Please forgive me for yesterday. I was feeling not myself. I was off yesterday. I wasn't feeling well. And my mama from Chattanooga, my mama said, you better get on it. You better get on it before it get a hold to you. You better get on it before it get a hold to you, baby. So I had to go get a hold of it, pull myself together before it got bad. But I was going to do this topic yesterday, right? But I guess I'm supposed to do it today. Boy, oh boy. Now, you guys know, non-judgmental space, right? And I want people to participate, right? That is the nature of the show. Sit back and view the show as a giant conversation, right? Where you are invited. And what's interesting here is we are not going to judge you for what you have to say about what we're going to talk about. This is a non-judgmental space, right? We respect everybody's opinion, so long as it's on topic, right? So if you come in here and you start talking about Tiger Woods or the Grammys or the Super Bowl halftime, then, we're going to have to move on. But if you have something to say about tonight's topic, 1-800-920-1580, the number to dial, 1-800-920-1580, tonight's topic, beyond words, silent gaslighting. Not silent night, silent gaslight. Oh, my goodness. Are you being invisibly gaslit by the unspoken words of a significant other? Question. What is left unsaid? Withholding, selective omission, non-communication be an effective way to invisibly gaslight someone? Can you remember the first negative thought you had about yourself as a result of someone else's opinion or lack of acknowledgement? If so, how has it shaped the way in which you seek or don't seek approval from others? 1-800-920-1580. Get in here. I want to hear your opinion. Who or what is your primary source of acknowledgement? Oh, my goodness. That question by itself. Who or what is your primary source of acknowledgement? Somebody in the chat room said, I need an example. Here's a perfect example. Say you're a kid and your AAU team, your 8U AAU team, or your 12U AAU team just won the championship. But your parents don't really acknowledge, what has happened. They're there, but they don't show like, good job, you played well, blah, 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 right? They didn't say you were trash. They didn't say you couldn't play. But they didn't acknowledge you. Or say you just graduated from high school and you were struggling. But over the past, say, 6 months, you really buckled down and started putting the work in. But they don't acknowledge it. They don't celebrate you for that. right? They may not say you shouldn't have been in that position anyway. They may not say that. They just don't give you the acknowledgement or the praise that you might need in that moment. Silent gaslighting. Or, as Ross Rosenberg calls it, invisible gaslighting. Woo, Lord. Are you codependent on the verbal or nonverbal approval of others? What role do worthiness wounds play in your self-perception? Listen, narcissists, this is their supply, your acknowledgement, right? A narcissist can text you knowing, okay, you might want to text them back, right? Because that's what normal people do when they text, right? I text you because that's another form of communication. The root word of communication is commune, union. We are in this exchange together. But a narcissist may text you just to get your response so that they can then ghost you. Do you understand? This is a certifiable, verifiable narcissistic text strategy. Do you understand? Heavy questions, right? Are you codependent on the verbal or nonverbal approval of others? What role do worthiness wounds play in your self-perception? 1-800-920-1580. I need to talk to you all. Get in here. Don't act like you haven't experienced some level of this. Many narcissists, or they'll say, narcissists are raised by, if they're in a two-parent home, this is how they become narcissists. One may be a codependent parent, and the other one may be a narcissist. And in that environment, you got a baby narcissist factory. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. What do you believe is your motivation for withholding information from your significant other? Do you intentionally seek to provoke a certain emotional reaction from your partner through invisible gaslighting? What connections can be drawn from the choice to not communicate certain things and power dynamics within a relationship? I need y'all to listen. I need y'all to listen. Listen, I'm going to say this outright right now. Because, you know, sometimes God will put me through hell so I can create a pathway. If you see a pathway for others, if you see any of this kind of mess, run. This is manipulation. Run. 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 Narcissists are not empathetic. They lack empathy. They don't care. Do you understand? They don't care. Your interaction is their fuel. I need you to understand that. I need you to understand that, right? How can the omission of information or words left unsaid be a subtle yet effective form of gaslighting in interpersonal relationships? Reflecting on the first negative thought you internalized due to someone else's opinion or lack of acknowledgement, how has this experience influenced your patterns of seeking validation or approval from others? Let me get in it. Let me get in it now. Listen, at the end of the day, whatever you go through, whether you like it or not, whether it feels good or not, ultimately is for your highest good. Ultimately. Now, if you stay locked, let me go back. Many people ask, why do you read so many questions at the beginning of the show, Zoe? Because I'm framing the topic. I want you to have an understanding of what we're talking about. And I create at least 250 questions per show. I only read about 10, but it's designed to frame the topic so you can have a firm understanding of what we're talking about. In what ways do worthiness wounds shape your perception of yourself and your interaction with others, particularly in the context of seeking approval. When faced with the absence of expected acknowledgement, what internal reactions or emotions do you tend to experience? And how do you navigate these feelings to prevent self-doubt and gaslighting effects? You say, what is gaslighting? You guys remember that 1938 movie called Gaslight, where the husband in the movie keeps trying to, or is saying different things to the wife to affect her reality. In other words, basically saying your reality is not real. That didn't happen. That's not true. Have you been in a relationship with somebody that has done that? I have. And one thing about me as a Gemini, I remember. Oh, Lord, my memory is crazy. I remember. I didn't say that. That's not what I said. Really. Gaslighting is the attempt to change your reality. Remember, narcissists want to maintain the narrative, right? Have you ever been in a relationship where your whole perspective the whole time was wrong? You didn't really see that. That's not what you saw. That's not what you heard. Huh? Now imagine a narcissist at the high level, boss level. At the boss level, at the mastery level, at the top of the pagoda. Right? With the ability to gaslight without using words. That is a Jedi Sith warrior level gaslighter. Has it happened to you? Have you been in those relationships? Beyond words, silent gaslighting. Are you being invisibly gaslit by your by the unspoken words of your significant other? When I come forward, the VOR is going to the phone lines. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles is a nonprofit law firm that protects and advances the rights of the most underserved, leveling the playing field and ensuring that everyone can have access to the justice system. Every year, LAFLA provides free, high-quality legal services to more than 100,000 people living in poverty across greater Los Angeles. Their unique combination of neighborhood offices, self-help centers at courthouses, services and domestic violence clinics puts Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles on the front lines in vulnerable communities and at the forefront of change. LAFLA's expert team of attorneys, paralegals, and support staff works to provide direct representation, offer counsel and advice, provide referrals, and educate the community about their legal rights through workshops and seminars. With locations all over LA, you can access their services or volunteer to help no matter where you live. And if you have an urgent issue, call 213-235-0060. That's 213-235-0060. To get legal help, make a donation, or volunteer, visit lafla.org. lafla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Never missing a beat. Yeah. Boy, was it neat. Yeah. Not just knee deep, she was totally deep when she did the freak with me. Never missing a beat. Yeah. Boy, was it neat. Yeah. The girl's a freak. The girl never misses a beat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just knee deep, she was totally deep when she did the freak with me.
It didn't work, no.
It wasn't working no more.
Hi, I'm Ross Rosenberg, the author of The Human Magnet Syndrome and the creator of the Codependency Cure and the Healing the Inner Trauma Child Treatment Methods. Today on my YouTube video, I'm going to talk about another way to think of, conceptualize, or even imagine gaslighting. Gaslighting is a very, very tricky subject. There are so many people out there, everywhere, that has an opinion on it. And a lot of them have it wrong, or they only have part of the picture. I actually prefer most of them having it mostly right than nothing being out there at all. So some is better than nothing, but my job, both as a psychotherapist and an educator, is to explain the phenomena, whether it's gaslighting or any other phenomena, theories, or concepts that I include in my work, to help people understand what's wrong with them, what's blocking them, what is causing them pain, and most importantly, why they can't see it or why it seems invisible to them. So in gaslighting in the subject of gaslighting, I've spent a lot of time thinking, writing, explaining things. In my book, The Human Magnet Syndrome, I have a whole chapter on gaslighting. I have a 6-hour seminar that's available at my selfloverecovery.com. And I talk about it all the time because it is part and parcel to the self-love deficit disorder problem, aka codependency, that you guys know is my primary focus. I have come to understand that an SLD, someone who's self-love deficient, a codependent, has been gaslit as a child in order to survive the relationship they had with their narcissistic parent. So if you think of it this way, if you have a narcissistic parent, that's always going to have a favorite child. It's always going to have a favorite person, and that favorite person is going to have to make him or her feel good about themselves, or at the very worst, not provoke or trigger a narcissistic injury. And so if you think of, say, 2 children, and one child somehow is not pleasing to the narcissist, is not able to be the trophy child, the good child, the child that spontaneously, naturally, and reflexively knows the right thing to do, when to do it, and how to do it. That child that can gauge his or her environment, monitor it, be hypervigilantly tuned into it, and find a way to make themselves safer with the parent they want so badly to love them, the narcissist, who really cannot unless somehow that child can mold herself or allow herself to be molded.
Man, Ross Rossenberg, invisible gaslighting. It's a lot to wrap your mind around. But when you start listening to the definitions, you start listening to the clarifications and the breakdown, I know many of you can say, there was a time I experienced somebody like that. I'm here to tell you. Hey, I am here to tell you. It makes you stronger, although it destroys your heart. Right? Going through that kind of emotional abuse and manipulation with somebody, it definitely makes you stronger because now your eyes are open to that particular type of behavior. But it comes at a cost. It's very heavy. The phenomenon of silent gaslighting delves into this murky world of invisible gaslighting through unspoken words, exploring the profound impact of communicative withholding and selective omission on individuals. On an individual's psychological and emotional well-being. You're going to be impacted psychologically and emotionally when people do this to you. Oh, man. On tonight's show, we aim to dissect the multifaceted nature of silent gaslighting, drawing inspiration from the insightful work of Ross Rossenberg and delving into the complex web of the dynamics that underlie this toxic behavior. Silent gaslighting operates in the realm of unspoken words where the absence of acknowledgement and validation serves as a potent tool to manipulate and control individuals. By withholding crucial information or failing to communicate openly, perpetrators of silent gaslighting or invisible gaslighting create an atmosphere of doubt and confusion, subtly distorting the reality of their victims. See, a lot of people don't think they're a bad person, right? A lot of people think they don't do bad things. This is bad. Come on, man. This is bad. And I'm sitting here as a witness, sitting on the front row seat of the Lakers game of this. Do you understand? This happens in a real way, right? To a lot of people, right? This hideous form of manipulation can erode self-esteem, sow seeds of self-doubt, and breed a sense of unworthiness in the target. Oh, Lord have mercy when I come forward. We got Atlanta, Georgia. We got Oakland, California. And we have Minneapolis, Minnesota. Come on, Prince.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The judge in former President Trump's civil fraud case is denying a request from Trump's legal team to delay the enforcement of penalties. The defense team asked for a delay of 30 days to allow for what they call an orderly post-judgment process. In an email posted to the court docket, the judge said Trump's team failed to explain, much less justify, any basis for a stay, adding that he was confident the appellate division would protect his rights. Trump was ordered to pay a $355 million fine plus interest. New York Attorney General Letitia James, who was was black, says she'll go after Trump's assets if he can't come up with the money. It looks like Olympic champion gymnast Gabby Douglas won't be making her return to competition just yet. Douglas, who was black, was set to compete at the Winter Cup in Louisville on Saturday, but she withdrew from the competition due to a positive COVID test. Douglas last competed at the 2016 Rio Olympics, where she was on the gold medal winning team. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary hair? Visit your local SoCal FS Cut and Color Salon today and let their team of expert stylists pamper you with affordable luxury. Get a free shampoo with every cut. Book your appointment today at fantasticsams.com.
I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte with the KBLA Talk 1580 editorial. In a public opinion survey commissioned by KBLA Talk 1580 and conducted by Vitterus, the black voters surveyed were highly enthusiastic about the March 2024 primary. The race for Los Angeles District Attorney is being hotly contested. Incumbent DA George Gascon's efforts to implement progressive criminal justice reforms have generated pushback from within his own office, the broader law enforcement community, and some in the general public. He was the subject of at least 2 failed attempts to qualify recalls. The concerns about crime are reflected in the polling results of black voters. Nearly 1 in 4 have been victims of violent crime or have someone close to them who has been a victim. 1 in 5 black voters have personally been victims of property crime in the last 2 years. A majority of respondents feel less safe than they did a year or 2 ago, but they reject the notion that criminal justice reform has gone too far. This year, black voters will be looking for candidates who speak to the complexity of the issues as opposed to a one-size-fits-all approach. Nearly half of black voters have an unfavorable view of DA Gascon, but his challengers are largely unknown. Nearly half of the black voters are also undecided, which means there's a clear opportunity for candidates to connect with black voters. Our poll makes 3 things abundantly clear. Black voters matter. Black voters are closely following this race, and the candidates for DA have a lot of work to do. KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to the mobilization and use of the franchise to empower our audience to identify and pursue their interests in advancing equity, inclusive representation, and multiracial solidarity. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Dr. Nicordelai Corte. We welcome your feedback.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Just had a fight with my woman over something trivial told. We rarely have confrontation, and if the I said really was bold, I think she get it from my mama. Her bitterness passed down from old. When I'm calling out her drama, she too defensive to listen. I'll call so. Look at me, I got problems. You got the type of advice that I need. I couldn't get through on the mention series. Dana was hogging up the time that I need. Between working or being so clingy, what's the time zone difference? Don't make it more easy. So I figured I'd call in early. Turn my life down, mercy, I got through. You tuned in. Yeah. So just lay back your mind. Something new. Everybody tuning in to soul. Cause he is the reason,
Have you heard of gaslighting? Here to explain what it is, how to spot the signs, and perhaps most importantly, what to do is clinical psychologist and MedCircle doctor Callie the Lab. I'm just kidding, Dr. Ramani. Although Callie's getting an education
yeah,
too.
Callie, yeah. I mean, I bet there's narcissistic dogs.
Oh, there are. Okay,
yeah.
so we just filmed a series about narcissistic abuse. You can check out the link in this video description to learn more about that. But in this video, we're talking about gaslighting.
Yeah.
What is that?
So gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse. It's where a person doubts the reality of another person, leaving that other person very, very confused. Gaslighting is sort of a signature tool of the narcissist. And they're often engaging in it to protect their fragile egos, to keep the world in line with their own reality, with little regard of how much it hurts another person when we doubt theirs. So again, it's very much a tool of manipulation, of emotional abuse, of again, second guessing someone else's reality.
And there are there are lots of things to look out for, but we're going to go through three of them today. What's the first one?
The first one is when somebody says to you, you're too sensitive, or you have no right to feel that way. When you do that, you immediately tell them that their emotional world is invalid and you're judging them for it. You have no right to feel that way, as though you are judge and jury on their emotional state. Okay? So what that does is it makes a person literally doubt their feeling, and a feeling is a spontaneous experience. So now it's almost like telling someone, you must be too hot, and they're perfectly comfortable, or telling someone they're hungry when they're not.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the emotional, when we do this emotionally, it is termed gaslighting, because the person's like, I thought I was that, but you're telling me I don't get to be angry about this. And then some people, when they're told it enough, they believe it. When people are given this situation, being told you're too sensitive, you have no right to feel this way, the best thing to do is to not engage at that point.
Man, Dr. Ramani always cooking with the rarest grease. What's the difference between stonewalling and gaslighting? Well, stonewalling is physically leaving the conversation, texting during an argument, suddenly start speaking to someone else. Like you in a conversation with somebody, you just start speaking to somebody else. Acting as if the other person is invisible, stonewalling, right? Gaslighting, as Dr. Ramani so eloquently explained, denial of someone's emotional or someone's emotional state, emotions, and or memories. That didn't happen. Trivializing. Oh, you're making a big deal out of nothing. Diverting from the issue. Right? You're not going to, we just not going to talk about it? Okay, so we going to talk, but we're not going to talk about anything? Nothing pending? I mean, we're going to talk, but we're not going to talk? Have you ever been in a situation? We're going to talk, but we're going to talk about what is the density of cotton candy? We having cotton candy conversations? So we going to talk, but we not going to talk. We're going to talk about all the superficial, non-essential stuff in the world. You know, the cell phones in the 90s used to be ridiculous. Do you remember the Sidekick? Yeah, the Sidekick. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What? Right. Divert from the issue. We're not talking. And then also, gaslighting involves stereotyping. This is heavy stuff, man. Listen, we are in relationships like this, man. And unfortunately, because I do believe in I believe in a divinely fine-tuned universe. And I don't believe that the universe wastes any movement. So I say all of that to say, I do believe that we go through these things so things can be revealed to us. And it's unfortunate, man. Wisdom, the cost of wisdom is pain. I know you don't want to hear it, but that's what it is. The cost of spiritual wisdom is pain. You're going to have to feel it before it can be revealed. Here we go. Here we go. Callers. We got Andrew from Minneapolis. Get in here.
I knew I was going next.
What up, Andrew?
Hey, Brother Zoe, how you doing, my man?
I'm alive and well, brother. What are your thoughts, man, on tonight's topic?
Man, these topics since the top of the year have been speaking to, like, my whole entire life for, like, the past 11 years.
Wow. Well, thank Attila from Houston, Texas, because she's given us about 85% of them.
Well, I think the both of y'all, man. All right, so this gaslighting situation is, it's a monster. Because I feel like in a defensive situation, you can find yourself becoming a gaslight and not even intend on doing it, but just to maintain some level of peace. And I'm only speaking from my personal experience. Do I intend on doing this, like, in a situation where it's allegedly love across the board? Nah. But sometimes our story never gets heard. And when you're in that situation where like the brain is your M60, it's your M16. It is your best formidable weapon against any kind of war that you're gonna face in this life. Okay? When you're dealt like that, you're gonna try and find a peaceful solution if possible. If applicable, you're gonna try and find a peaceful solution, and sometimes you lean towards that. But when the other person just goes slam dunk it, and when you find out you have been set up from the beginning, man, it's not a heart slash, my man, because the heart is built to deal with hard shit, and I mean hard stuff. I'm sorry.
Hey, you curse? You don't know cursing on the radio, sir.
I'm sorry. Hard stuff. And it's built to last. Okay? But that brain, though, that psychological trauma that comes with that, that's the stuff that keeps you up at night. That's the stuff that keeps you scarred. That's the stuff that makes you want to cut off, and this, that, and the third. And people that use that tactic of gaslighting and it's only simply because you're not going to go their way. Narcissists. You're not going to deal in their reality because you know what real is. And it's a constant fight. And when that anxiety shows up, that is your reminder to let you know, hey, man, you behind enemy lines, bro. There have been many mornings I woke up, my man, and I was like, dang, I'm sleeping with the enemy. For real? No, real talk, bro. Like, for real, that is a culture shock in itself.
Wow.
And trying to get everything else aligned. Now, I'm not holier than thou, and I'm not perfect. I am spiritual, my man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we will inoculate God's messages in order to stay in a situation when we think it's the best course of action. Sometimes you got to burn it all down.
Burn it down. Hey, Andrew, guess what you just did, my brother?
One more time for the one time, baby.
Yes, sir. He brought Minneapolis in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We're on complete fire tonight. I've got more. When I come forward, I know this is not clinical, but when I come forward, I want to talk about spiritual gaslighting.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
LADWP is proud to partner with KBLA to share with you how to start the new year without bill worries. We're here to help if you're behind on your bill or need help staying current. Sign up anytime online for Level Pay to set predictable monthly payments throughout the year, including for past due amounts. You can also check out the special extended pay arrangements of up to 48 months to help pay down your bill. If you're a senior or income qualified, you may be eligible for Easy Save to receive discounts and also qualify for free and discounted energy and water saving devices. You can get up to $15,000 for past due water and or sewer bills and up to $3,000 for electric bills. But you gotta act fast. Funding is limited. You can reduce your past due bills and kick off the year right, because here at LADWP, we're here to help. Visit ladwp.com/cares today and find out more.
City of Los Angeles tenants know these facts about eviction and consumer debt. Tenants can't be evicted if rental arrears are eligible to be treated as consumer debt. Tenants who followed certain COVID-19 pandemic protections under state law can't be evicted for past due rent. Landlords can collect rental arrears in court as consumer debt, but tenants cannot be evicted if they provided a declaration of COVID-19 hardship and paid 25% of rent owed. Learn more at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chucha's opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chucha's Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm hot. Do you wanna dance?
You know that I'm the one who satisfies you. You know that I just can't do without you. When we get down, we always turn the place out. So shake your pants and you can get a thing home. Feel with me, touch with me, let them see, yes with me.
Gaslighting is a word that's used a lot in the media these days. But what does gaslighting actually mean? The term originates from the Patrick Hamilton's original 1939 stage play Gaslight, where a husband psychologically manipulates his wife. In the story, the husband attempts to convince his wife that she is insane by manipulating small elements of their environment and insisting that she is mistaken, remembering things incorrectly when she points out the changes he makes. The play's title alludes to how the abusive husband slowly dims the gaslights in their home while pretending nothing has changed, in an effort to make his wife doubt her own perceptions. Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse where someone leads you to question your own reality, memory, or perceptions. So, here are 10 examples of what gaslighting can sound like. As a disclaimer, we want to note that not everyone who says these phrases is automatically a gaslighter. Gaslighting is intentional, and a gaslighter knows exactly what they're saying and what they're doing. 1. What did I do to you? If someone responds to you this way, they may genuinely not know what they have done and are asking you about it. But when it's gaslighting, they are aware they have done something to hurt you and are pretending to play dumb. In defensively posing this question to you, they are denying the impact they had on you and are also forcing you to question it. 2. Everyone around you isn't the problem is you. This is sometimes used as a way to shut down the conversation or dialogue for whatever is happening. This type of language is often referred to as victim blaming, where the gaslighter will make statements that cause you to feel like you are the problem, even when you have fallen victim to something such as bullying or abuse and the situation is outside of your direct control. 3. I'm sorry you feel that way. When someone's hurt you and they say something like this, then it is not a true apology. Instead, it's a way to make you feel like you are the problem. They say that they're sorry that you feel the way you do, rather than apologizing for what they've done or how they made you feel. 4. I don't remember saying that. I think you made that up. This is the go-to phrase that a gaslighter will use to intentionally get you to question your experience, behavior, and thoughts in order to take the focus off of them. 5. It's your anxiety that made me do the things I do. This is a common response when a gaslighter gets called out for their behavior. They use this as a reason to justify their own negative behavior when in fact, they should take responsibility for their own actions instead of choosing to blame you. 6. You need help. This term is used to imply that you are the problem and that you need to address your issues rather than them having to work through their own issues.
I don't want to play all of them, okay? But have you experienced? I done experienced all of that. I've experienced every single one of the first few that she's mentioned. You need therapy. I might. I probably do. I don't remember that. What? Okay. I've experienced it all. Right? And again, listen, man, when you find somebody, listen, here's a telltale sign. When you find somebody and y'all in an intimate relationship together and they refuse to reveal some of their inner workings of how they think, how they feel, how they were raised, some of their reservations. I mean, healthy people sit down and talk about what's wrong with them. Right? If you start peeping game, where you're in a relationship, listen to what how I'm going to word this here. You're in a relationship with an outsider. Okay? What do you mean? How they frame you in their life, you're an outsider, but you're on the inside of a particular rung in their life. But when it comes to being on the inside of how they get down. You're still an outsider. But conversely, they want to be on the inside of you. They want to know whatever makes you tick, they want to know it. They want to be the talk to your tick. That's how close they want to be in your stuff. But if they make you feel like an outsider in their stuff, come on, man. They don't want you to be able to do what they could be doing to you. And what is that? Changing your reality? You can't really change the reality unless you know a person, unless you got something on them, unless you understand something about them. Okay? Now, let me hit you with this. Spiritual gaslighting. What is spiritual gaslighting? I told you guys this before. Don't you know the younger sisters out here, they really on this African spirituality stuff. They are really on this magic. And I love it. Be on the magic. I'm with the magic. Okay? But when you start looking at it, it has a dark side. It does. Here's an example. Here's a bottle of something called Jezebel oil. Okay? It's called Jezebel oil. An old recipe for a very persuasive and enchanting oil, said to be used traditionally by sex workers, but it can also be of use to service industry workers, used to attract wealthy male clients and keep you safe from unsavory clientele, promote sex appeal to keep the money flowing, and hold the advantage in business matters and love. The oil's namesake is Jezebel, a Phoenician princess in biblical times who was married to King Ahab of Israel, an archetype of a sensual siren, a powerful woman who understands the minds of men. She successfully manages to convince her husband to let her worship an old pagan deity by the name of Baal. Do you know they buying it at $8 a pop and rubbing it on their body before they have sex with you on Valentine's? When you get that first time, y'all gonna do it? See what she smell like. There's some kind of spiritual gaslight oil on her, yo. I know y'all not. Yeah, this is actually happening. This is going down. When I come forward, we're going to get even deeper.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The judge and former President Trump's